Hi, my name is John Masters. I've been a practitioner of the great work, also known as internal alchemy, for the last 40 years. Two of the main tools that I've used is dreaming and contemplative meditation. In a previous video, if you look in description, you'll see a link to it. I discussed the three categories which often dreams fall into. And I'm going to discuss the second category. First category being just normal dreaming, which is burning off karma. Second category is message dreaming. And the third category is encounters with dream entities. Message dreams are important because they can help you guide you through the path of Dharma or through what's going on in your world to get what you want. I mean, it could be a better job, it could be an improvement in your relationship, it doesn't matter. These are areas that your higher self or your subconscious can give you clues or insights into what you need to do. So message dreams are really important to understand. I am currently, even as we speak, working through a message dream. And in my previous video, I gave you the beginning of it. And one of the things that I talked about, and I'm going to continue discussing this dream because I'm going to show you the process that I use to decipher it and how I make it work, which is important. It's always best to lead by example. So, I have kept my intent on uncovering the dream. In other words, deciphering it. It's important to do so. Remember, when you guys have a message dream, you'll know it's a message. There's a whole different feeling to that dream. Don't stress about figuring out the whole message within that particular dream. It's almost impossible to do so. There's three parts to it. First, look at what's going on in your physical life. What is your major intent right now? What is the major thing that you're trying to do? Your dream is probably going to relate to that. The two combine, as above, so below. If you keep your intent on deciphering that dream, you will have more dreams to clarify it. Rarely does it ever happen in one dream. It'll usually happen in several dreams, almost like telling a story. So last night, I had another dream. In fact, it took me a little while to figure it out, but it really wasn't that difficult. I dreamt that I was walking along and I was stopped by a police officer. And I'm going to tell you how this relates here really shortly, okay? I'm going to tell you, because it was really a powerful dream. I don't know if I've gotten the full message yet. I'll know when I have the full message because the dreams will stop. So I'm walking along, and I'm stopped by a cop, and it's a female cop. And the cop says, "You're wanted down south." And I says, "What? They don't want me. They're not going to ever extradite me." And I'm going to explain to you how this comes together when I'm finished describing it. And she says, "Oh, yes, they do. Put your hands up." So I put my hands up, and she goes behind me, and she grabs my hand and does something illegal. I want you to note this. This is very illegal. She slammed me into the ground, slamming the back of my head into the ground. And if it was in real life, I probably would have had my head cracked open. And even in the dream, I kind of felt a reverberation. It kind of reverb throughout the whole body. So afterwards, she stands me up, she handcuffs me, and then puts me in the squad car, and then takes me for a drive. She doesn't take me to the station. She says, "No, I'm going to take you there directly." And I went, "You can't do that. You have to go through extradition." Anyways, make a long story short, I don't want to make the dream too complicated. The more you look at details of a dream, the further you're going to get away from the message. Remember, the message is simple, okay? It's very simple. So try to keep your dreams simple. When you write them down and you interpret them, keep them simple. Because other parts, if they apply, you're going to remember them from previous dreams. Remember, think of it as a story. It's broken up into sections, so you have time to process what your higher self's telling you. Remember, in dreams, it's probably something you don't want to look at or something that you haven't dealt with. And let's face facts, we just don't like dealing with personal problems, okay? We don't. We'd rather just shove them aside. So it comes in sections and bits and pieces. This is why I never stress about a message dream. I know if I'm trying to really, really strike this home for you guys. I know if I don't get it, I'm going to get more dreams. So why stress about it? So while I'm sitting in the back of the car, fear is starting to come into effect. I'm starting to think to myself, I live in Portland, which is far up north. And in my mind, I could picture, oh no, they're going to take me all the way to San Diego, as far south as I can go and still be in America. And I remembered thinking to myself, and this is where the fear was really starting to build up, and the stress. And I said to myself, oh my God, it'll be almost impossible. It would be so much work to get back to where I'm at now. Interesting. Think about that. That's really important. What you're thinking in your dream is really, really important. In fact, it's probably the most important part of the whole dream. Now, here's the interesting part. After I thought about that, another police force came in and arrested her for kidnapping, basically. And I remembered saying, I'm going to file charges against you, and I'm going to file a complaint, and it's going to stay in your record. In other words, I stood up for myself. So let me interpret this for you, okay? Let's break this down. As discussed in my previous video, again, look at the link in description, I deciphered my first two dreams, my message dreams, as there's some shit that's being covered up. So keeping that in mind, I know that I interpreted correctly. I know I did. You know how I know? Because I'm now having a different dream. It's expanding upon that first concept that I was able to get, which is very simple. There's shit that's being covered up. So in other words, I'm uncovering it. I'm seeing what's holding me back and affecting me negatively or impacting me negatively in my life. So I'm going to take that interpretation and I'm going to look at what is my focus in my life right now. Well, of course, it's the great work, to follow the path, spiritual development, to keep moving forward. Are you getting it? So now, when I woke up, I thought about the dream for a bit, and it reminded me of something. I have always been afraid that I'm going to fall back, that I'm going to lose what I gained, that I'll be back trapped within the dark dimension, or dimension of darkness, whatever you want to call it. Everybody's called it the same way. The next dimension up, that I was going to be trapped, and that I might get pulled back into it. And something else I forgot to tell you. After I saw that long trip back to where I'm at now, I remembered thinking to myself, all right, if it happens, it's okay. Because I can get back here. I can do it. It'll be hard, but I can do it. That was empowering. And then me standing up to her with the police saying, I'm going to file a complaint that'll stay in your record forever, was me standing up for myself. In previous dreams, whenever I had something similar to that, there was that fear that I would fall back and I would almost run away. This dream, I stood up, okay, and I stood my ground. Really important. Breaks in your normal habits are little epiphanies that are going to lead to a greater realization. So now, I re-look at my second dream. That's right. In that dream, I remembered that I had crap all over my foot. You know, once I uncovered it, I remembered I saw crap all over my foot, and I remember thinking to myself, I've been tracking crap all over the place. Interesting. Now, this may not make sense to you guys, but it does to me. Why? Because it's my dream. It's tailored for me. What I'm trying to show you is the process. So I had a new dream. Now I can start tying in previous dreams and kind of putting the threads together. Remember, you're not going to get another dream or another section of a dream until you understand the section being presented to you. And as long as you keep that dream, the intent on deciphering the message, not that particular dream per se, but deciphering the message of that dream, you're going to continue to have more dreams until you get it. I discovered that I had a fear that I've been tracking around with me that's been holding me back. Remember, any fear is going to hold you back. And in the dream, I overcame that fear. Really, really important. Guys, I'm John Masters. I hope this helps. Make sure to subscribe so you can get involved in our Q&As. In the Q&As, I'll often talk about a lot of things, kind of go off on little tangents, but most people find the tangents that I go off on a little bit more enlightening. Generally, I'll have those a couple of times during the week, about 6 o'clock PST, and that way you can be prepared for them.